Hello and welcome to 3.0 TV. I am Vishakha Thakur. WazirX is once again in the headlines. So recently, the Singapore High Court rejected the company's restructuring plan, and also there is news that WazirX has shifted its parent company from Singapore to Panama and renamed it as Zensui. So what are the details? What is exactly happening? For more on all this, I am joined by Mr. Sonu Jain, the Chief Risk and Compliance Officer at 9 Point Capital. So welcome to 3.0 TV, Sonu.
Thank you, Vishakha.
It's a pleasure to have you. So there is going a lot right now in the WazirX case. So please tell us that recently the Singapore High Court rejected the company's restructuring plan. So what is the reason behind that?
So the court rejected the application for multiple reasons, but the first and the most important one being that WazirX chose not to comply with Singaporean law. So we saw that on May 30th, the Monetary Authority of Singapore, which is MAS, came out with its crypto consultation paper, in which they mentioned clearly that if you are a Singapore business, you cannot offer crypto services to non-Singaporean citizens without obtaining a license from them.
Okay.
So we brought this to the attention of the court, and the court asked WazirX on what is its plan. Asked Zensui, basically the Singaporean company of WazirX, to clarify what is its stand on complying with Singaporean regulations and Indian regulation. So Zensui informed the court that they do not plan to obtain registration either in Singapore or in India. They told instead we have figured out another way. On March 10th, they had incorporated a Panama company. So they told that we will use the Panama company and shift all the operations from Zensui to Panama. So the court had a very big issue with this because this was not informed to the court at any point of time. So we have had multiple hearings now. Hearings happened in December, Jan, Feb, and then even in May we had multiple hearings. In none of the hearings, the court was informed there is a plan to shift the company from Singapore to Panama or to any other country. So the court felt that somewhere the applicant was not honest. It also felt that had these regulations not changed, Zensui would have never informed the court or the users that they plan to use some other company to run the operations.
Right.
So that was one of the biggest reasons why the court rejected the scheme. And the court also had issues with how rebalancing is done. Because if we see, Zensui's application basically was asking the court to put a rubber stamp on the restructuring which they had already done. So they are saying that on 17th of Jan, we did the restructuring, we sold user assets, we rebalanced the portfolio. But on whose authority? The court never sanctioned a scheme. So now they are coming forward to the court 5 months after doing a restructuring and asking the court to rubber stamp something that has already happened. So that is also something the court did not agree with. So because of these reasons, the scheme was rejected. Ultimately, it's a very big win for the users.
Right. So you said that ultimately it's a big win for the users. We will also talk about that in detail. But as of now, it is being said that the WazirX has shifted its parent company to Panama and renamed it as Zensui. So can you please throw some light on that?
Yes, absolutely. So what happens is whenever a company goes through such a situation, so they always create contingencies in place so that if something goes wrong, they can use another company. But with WazirX, the case is it's just a grasshopping case. So when they were using the Indian company till there were no issues. And then in August 2022, we all know in 2022, ED raided officers of WazirX, which is when they started creating the drama of WazirX Binance dispute.
Right.
Before that, no one knew such a dispute existed, and the WazirX Binance transfers were happening seamlessly. And then subsequently, when they got hacked, they realized we cannot use India anymore because India will figure out all the frauds that they are doing. They shifted it to Singapore, which is again Zensui. Users never knew there is a company called Zensui.
Right.
Now again, when Singapore changed its regulation, they thought, okay, let's leave the Singapore entity, we'll go to Panama. So this is a very clear case of, shying away from regulation so that you are not bound to any licensing, because the very base of regulation is investor protection.
Definitely.
That is why regulations exist. And when you are, as a company, are shying away from taking regulation in any country, for example, WazirX wants restructuring in Singapore but does not want registration in Singapore. So that shows that there is something wrong going on within the company. Otherwise, why would you keep running away from all the countries? And Panama, as we all know, very famous for the Panama Papers file that came out. Lot of people having their unaccounted black money. It's a very well-known country for not having any regulations. or having little to no regulation
In
where
fact,
there
tax-free.
is it's tax-free country also. So for crypto activities, it becomes a prime hub because that is where you can run a very efficient crypto operations without almost no government intervention into your business. So that's a very reason why WazirX shifted it to Panama.
So definitely WazirX is shying away from regulations, but now what should the investors do? All the investors are worried. They want to talk to Nishchal Shetty, but he is not coming up. He's not speaking to them, not holding any conferences. What should the investors do at this point?
Right, absolutely. For investors, now is the right time to engage lawyers in India and fight the case in Indian courts. Because one thing the users should be clear is that if you are just sitting and expecting that WazirX will repay you the money, that is definitely not going to happen. WazirX has shown no intention to pay back the users. Because even if we see the scheme timeline, the repayment was expected somewhere before March. And now we are already in June and we still do not have any repayments.
Right.
Moreover, WazirX told that it will repay users almost 85% of the funds. But today, if users will calculate by going into their WazirX app and seeing how much is the rebalancing amount they will receive compared to the actual value as on today of their portfolio, that will not even be 50% of what they are being told. So effectively 85% is just a number, it is not the actual truth. So for users, it is very important that you fight for your funds, whether you fight it individually if you have a large portfolio, or you form a group of investors and then you fight it out in India. Ultimately, unless people come together, Indian government is not going to intervene in this case. So for the users, come together and fight it out.
All right. Thank you so much for sharing all the details.
Thank you so much.
So that's all for now. Keep watching 3.0 TV for more such updates on the WazirX case.